Well, it's official. If you are a Briton, then asylum seekers have more rights than you. So there's this member of parliament that is on record on this show, this interview, saying those exact words. Let's watch this clip.
It's even a year in as a government saying, this is what we inherited. This is what we inherited, right? There was a widespread use of asylum hotels by the Conservatives that increased enormously at enormous cost to the taxpayer.
Yeah, you keep going back to the Conservatives.
I wanted to ask you... Yes, but it won't be a quick fix.
Well, most important, this is a Labour member of Parliament. So she is trying to blame this on the Tories, on the Conservatives. But the question is really straight and direct. Do asylum seekers have more rights than native Britons in the UK?
We will sort it.
Your lawyers, under your guidance, have said in terms that the rights of asylum seekers are more important than the rights of local people in Epping Forest. Would you at least acknowledge that that is what they will hear? And it's up to you. Ministers can say, we agree with that, or we don't agree with it. You can't simply say, let's balance things. Do you agree with what your lawyers said, or don't you?
Yes, of course we do.
That's it. And I don't think that she is confused by the question. The question was very clear, extremely clear. There's no way you can twist that question to asylum. We can go over that again. There's no problem.
That the rights of asylum seekers are more important than the rights of local people.
That's it. There's no more to be asked. That is what has been happening in the UK for years now, under both Labour and Tories. Yeah, it's both of them, but it's a reality. And they are not afraid of telling that to your face. So, the situation in the UK has turned really dire for many people, especially for women and girls who are being sexually assaulted in mass, which is gross and has been happening for so much time that if this just explodes, if the lid is, I don't know, if the pot is open or something like that, this is going to be one of the worst records and recollections of atrocities in the history of humankind. I am not exaggerating. The things that we hear that have been hidden from our side are disgusting. And many people are saying that this must be some kind of, the propaganda from the right. No, it's not propaganda, because that has happened under both parties. It doesn't matter. This is not propaganda. It's something that is actually happening, and they are not afraid of, coming forward and saying this. Like, asylum seekers are given new £300,000 townhouses with en-suites, EV charging points, and underfloor heating, while locals battle to get on the property ladder. This is something that has been happening, again, for years. And it gets worse and worse while the circumstances and the living conditions of the regular citizen, the regular Briton, have been decreased. It's hell on earth. Not to mention the two-tier justice system. Steve Laws, go anywhere in the UK and look around. You will see foreigners everywhere. It's truly sickening, the damage that has been done to our nation and our people. We have to stop immigration and start remigration before we can even begin to reverse the damage that has been done. But the government is not going to do it, despite all the calls for this. This tweet has 13 million views. 13 million views, and politicians have promised that they're going to do something about the immigration, and they have not only failed to do that, but they have promoted more and more of the invasion. Because again, this is by design. I'm going to say it over and over again. And the repression has become worse. Breaking a woman has been arrested for flying a British flag at Epping Council building. Britain is a Soviet state. This video that you're about to see has been watched almost 30 million times. And it's still baffling to me that this is happening. A woman just wanted to show UK's flag in front at the council. Oh, maybe she's being arrested not for the flag because she's in bed. But the point is the flag. What is the problem of a woman with a flag? And what do they do to Abrodians who sexually assault women and girls? That's something that is actually happening. That is what is the end game for these people? I would like to know what is the end game. Also, Callum Barker, a British nationalist and one of the leaders of the Epping protests, has been arrested for inciting racial hatred. Just in case you are not aware of what happened at Epping, it's basically a hotel full of migrants, of asylum seekers. Let's say they are not behaving the proper way. There already have been reports of sexual assaults of migrants living in those quarters, living at that hotel. So the hotel was already, let's say, discarded. They were going to be taken elsewhere. But then the government said, no, you know what? No. The asylum seekers need to be there. Absolutely need to be there. We don't care what the people of the city say. We don't care about that. We don't care about the people of Epping. The asylum seekers will stay no matter what happens to the women and girls. And, well, everyone, in fact, because everyone can be affected by the slash of a knife. It's that simple. Callum Barker hates what they are doing to his country, nothing more than that. 1,000-fold increase in sexual assaults, all due to other races, is enough to make anyone hate, except Keir Starmer, who apparently he just loves the Abrodians so much. So many angles of Callum's arrest. And we also have Jack Hadfield. In this footage, you can truly see the scale of the Bell Hotel protests in Epping last night. There were more people in front of me still, and it took me almost a full 2 minutes to walk through the whole crowd. Definitely well over 1,000 in attendance. And you might be saying, maybe you say, oh, 1,000 is not that much. It should be much more than that. But you have to remember that people up to this point were afraid of just going out because of, if you went on to protests against migration, then maybe you will be thrown in jail because you would be, I don't know, a racist, xenophobe, all those words that they use to label people with actual concerns. So maybe 1,000 people doesn't look like much, but this is a huge step, a great step in the right direction in the protesting what these laws and these judges are doing to the UK, literally destroying the culture and heritage. And I was reading, and in another, let me see, there's another. Okay, this is, for example, this graphic I wanted to show you. These are the nationalities of sexual assault by nationality in the UK. First place, Afghanistan, and from first place onwards, Eritrea, Namibia, Chad, Moldova, Sudan, Congo, Burma, Albania, Angola, Somalia, Iraq, Algeria, Tanzania, Morocco, Guinea-Bissau, Honduras, Gambia, Iran, Syria. Do you see a pattern in here? Do you see a pattern in here? There's a very clear pattern in here. These people should not be in the UK in the first place. And maybe, I could say that, let's not be generalized. Let's say that there are people from Afghanistan that maybe they don't do that, because there's a possibility. It's perfectly a possibility. But the problem is that when one person from Afghanistan or Eritrea or Namibia or Chad perform a sexual assault on a woman or a girl, they are not punished. They're just brought back to the streets. Why is that? Why is crime not punished? Why aren't they deported immediately to the shithole they come from? Because that's what should be done. Deporting, if you do as something as simple as not stopping at a stop sign, you don't stop at a stop sign, you are deported. It's that simple. It should be that way. The problem is that the law has been too lenient, and not even lenient, it has been granting more rights to asylum seekers than, well, Britons. Do you think this is too much that I'm asking for? Is this too much that Britons could be asking for? The governments, if you're a Briton, your government hates you. The government literally wants you dead. In Canada, for example, the government literally wants you dead with a maid, the assisted suicide. That at some point that's gonna be offered to you in the United Kingdom. I don't know, maybe I'm off the loop and that is already being offered in the United Kingdom and I'm not aware. But yes. So what's gonna happen? I don't know. I would like to know what you think about this in the comments. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Battle Language Guy. Much love and bliss.